Hi, welcome and happy Sunday, everyone. Hopefully you've had a great start to your morning and your day and you're enjoying your weekend. Thank you for being here with me again for our fourth class on developing your intuition at home. And I've got a fun lineup today. We're going to be working both with a pendulum. Here's my pendulum, because the good thing about a pendulum is that it doesn't have to be something that you don't already have. I love using my necklace as a pendulum, so I'm going to be using that, and I'm going to be talking about how to use a pendulum today for building your intuition and your trust with your gut instincts, and I'll explain a little bit even how a pendulum works. And I'm also going to talk about clairvoyance, but I wanted to bring up last week's class, and hopefully you've had a chance to watch that video and get yourself a deck of cards and be working with them. So hopefully you can share some of your experiences, and I just brought some of my cards out. I might do something fun with them if everybody stays till the end here today. And so I'm gonna, since it's our last class, I'm gonna pull a few cards for people here and there, and I want to do answer a few questions with the pendulum on yes or no. And using tools is a great way to help you with developing your intuition and trusting your gut instincts, trusting information, and then for you taking charge of your own development in that way. It's interesting because there are some people that are naturally gravitate towards certain fields and certain things of study that have a natural predisposition for having a lot of intuition. And one of those fields is anybody who goes into the military. A lot of times people in the military have a strong intuition, or they learn to work with their gut intuition. Anybody in any of the armed forces, military, and a lot of times firefighters, police officers, surgeons tend to work a lot with their gut instincts. And we don't tend to think about people who do that kind of work as using their gut instincts or natural ability with gut instincts. It's always best if you have a physician or a doctor or someone that you're working with, for them also to trust their instincts, and maybe even ask them some questions the next time when you're in the doctor's office, like just some intuitive kinds of things, because you want your doctor, when they're working with you, to have that, just be guided with their feelings at times. And I'm sure a lot of you in the fields that you work in, anybody that's artistic will tend to use a lot of their intuition because they're using their claircognizance. So if you saw the first class in the series that I did, we talked about clairsentience and claircognizance, and that people with a lot of claircognizance are being downloaded information from the divine, from God, the Holy Spirit, the spirit world in general, to help them generate their creative artwork, whether it's music, writing music, singing, using their voice in a certain way, writers, painters, all kinds of artistic endeavors. It comes from a place of having divine guidance working with them. And it's no different for any of us. We can work. There's just a natural thing that certain people gravitate towards with careers, but any of us can learn to build up on our intuition. And anybody that's a parent knows that they've had those intuitive feelings at times. And if you are a parent and you want to share some intuitive things, go ahead and type it in there. But good morning to all of you as you come in the room. I'm excited. I'm going to pull some cards at the end of this session. I want to bring up, before I get started on pendulums, just some catch up on some of the things that's going on with me. I still have a few seats left for my January 21st, Sunday, January 21st from 1 to 3. I have a group reading I still have spots for, and I think I have 2, maybe 3 spots left for the March level 1 intuition course. The February intuition course has been sold out for some time. So I still have some of that available. And I just posted my video yesterday. I'm super excited about it, on the Soulmates course. It's a year-long journey. So it's 12 classes, but you can watch that video. You can head right on over to YouTube. I'm going to be creating a YouTube video coming this week also on dealing with stress and holiday stresses that can come up, and practical ideas and things that you can all work on to get through the stress of the holiday season, whether it's stressful because you've lost a loved one that's close to you, and or like there's other kinds of issues, the hustle and bustle of everything, more going on in your schedule, travel, meeting up with family members. All of those things can lend stress to our lives. So I'm going to have tips and practical tips to help deal with the season and the stress of the season. And I'm going to do a video on taking care of ourselves, like healthy eating. I attribute a lot of my ability to stay fit to not only my workout routine, but also to what I eat. And I'm not a vegetarian, but I do mostly eat vegetables. I am a mostly vegetable person. I do have some fruit, but not a lot of fruit. And I attribute that to me staying fit and trim at almost 50 years old now to my healthy eating, even more so than I do my workout routine. Right here is what my morning smoothie looks like. And I'm going to do a video on my morning smoothie, what I do and what I eat, because I do feel that eating plays a much bigger factor in the way we look and how we feel than it does, than perhaps exercise does. I'm not saying it's not important. So hopefully you're wanting to, you'll check that video out as well. It's a little different, but living a spiritual life, that we don't want to leave out the idea that our physical body doesn't also need attention, care, and love as well. So, and good morning to everybody coming in. I'm excited you're here, so I'm going to jump right in. And if you have questions about anything that I brought up, or my events that are coming up, or the upcoming YouTube videos, I am thinking on the next video series that I would do for my Facebook Live. So if you have ideas or things you want to learn or you want to know about, put them, let me know. Write your questions down, or your comments, or write your suggestions down from more videos that we can do together here on Sundays, or maybe even other days of the week. So here is my necklace. This is a pendant that I love wearing. You don't have to go out and buy a pendulum. You can use any necklace. You could put your ring on a string. Of course, you can go and buy online somewhere, or even in different spiritual shops, or shops that sell crystals and stones. You can go and buy a pendulum, but you don't have to. And a pendulum is really easy to work with, and it's easier to work with too if it's something that you've been wearing for a while, like a necklace or a ring. This kind of necklace that I'm wearing here today would not be a good choice unless I put my ring on it to use, because it doesn't really have something hanging or dangling down. So the first idea with, or the first thing that you need to think about with a pendulum is it needs to have something kind of weighted at the end of it that can swing like a pendulum. And so I'm going to use my necklace. And since it's so long, one of the things that I do is I just wrap it around my fingers to shorten it up. But you can certainly let it hang as long as you like. It won't make a difference. Sometimes it takes the energy generated a little longer to get down to get it go. But the first thing you have to do is calibrate your pendulum. In other words, you need to know if your pendulum's telling you a yes or a no. And so your pendulum will move or swing in different directions depending on the answer that it's trying to give you. So a yes could be in any direction that the pendulum teaches you it wants to go. So the first thing you do is you ask your pendulum to show you a yes. Now, I like relaxing my arm with my elbow close into my body. Some people like their elbow outward, and some people want to balance their elbow on a table. It doesn't matter. Try it different ways till you really feel comfortable with the way that your arm feels and how you want to swing. But so like for me, I'm going to calibrate my pendulum, and I've used this several times, and I'm holding it up. I don't usually hold my arm like this, but I'm going to ask my pendulum to show me a yes. And immediately, I have a well-trained pendulum. It starts to show me my yes. This is my normal yes. And for me, from my perspective, looking at my pendulum, it's showing me clockwise is my yes. Now, you can stop your pendulum, and if you're first using it, I suggest you do that. And then what you want to do is ask it for a no. But I've used this so often that I'll ask for a yes, and then I'll just ask for a no without necessarily stopping it. But if you're first learning to use a pendulum, or it's you're beginning to just use a brand new pendulum, or you're using a necklace that you've never used before as a pendulum, then I would stop the motion between and then ask it to show you a no. It's like it already knows I was going to ask it. There it goes. And so counterclockwise for me is a no. But that doesn't mean that's your yes or your no. Some people get a yes going this, moving back and forth. Some people get a no going this direction. So that what you first need to do is figure that out and know for yourself. And every pendulum can be different. Just because it works for me with this pendulum to go clockwise for a yes and counterclockwise for a no, doesn't mean it'll do that for you. There's a lot of rules out there. I always think keep things simple. Just really keep things simple. Now, sometimes items carry energy with them, like a pendulum if you bought it from a shop or something. So my suggestion is to hold it. If you're not getting results or it's not getting a lot of movement, hold it. Put it in your pocket for a couple of hours. If it is a necklace or something you could wear it around for a while. It'll get your energy on it, and it'll start to learn to work with you. It is my strong belief that a pendulum will work in more than one way. It works with the law of attraction, meaning the truth. It resonates with the truth, or it can resonate or understand what something that isn't truthful. Doesn't mean it's a lie, just an untruth and a truth. It'll resonate with the law of attraction of something being true or untrue. And I also believe spirit can step in and work with your pendulum as well. I've actually felt that happen. So it's different people have different philosophies or beliefs on this. I want you to find your own way. Do your own research, do your own study on it, feel into it or how it works for yourself. Here's the thing. Your body does resonate with the truth. Your body will, if you've ever been in a conversation with someone and you just were really feeling what they were saying, or you knew it was true, even if it sounded kind of crazy or far out, we tend to lean in. Even if like we're listening to something on YouTube, or we're listening to someone say on a Facebook Live like this, we'll tend to lean in when something resonates or get closer to it when it's the truth, and we tend to pull back or pull away when it's not quite resonating with us with the truth. So your body is reacting to the questions that you ask, and you ask yes or no questions of a pendulum. The cards are more general in nature when you're asking the question, right? We're not just asking yes or no questions of the cards. We're asking to know about what we need to know about our career, or perhaps our love life, or other things that are going on in our life. We ask what we need to know. From a pendulum, we need to ask a yes or no question because it's going to tell us yes or no. Now, pendulums can be used in other ways. It doesn't have to be used for just yes or no. But for the sake of this class today and working with yourself and a pendulum at home, this is where we're going to keep our understanding of a pendulum and how to use it. So, with your pendulum, you find out, you calibrate it, you get your yes or no, and then you ask yes or no questions. So if somebody has a yes or no question that they want to ask, that will help me also to help you understand what are good questions to ask yes or no. So if you're going to be so specific with your question, so you might ask, in the next month, am I going to move? Right? Valid question. It's not a bad question. It's not a bad question to ask, but you might be moving in 2 months, or you might move in a month and 2 days. So you want to go wider if you want a time frame with your asking, and then narrow it down. Like you want to start out with, will I move in 6 months? Will I move in 5 months? Will I move in 4? Until you can whittle it down to get your yes or no. And that is a fun way to do it. So if somebody wants to ask a yes or no question, I can check my pendulum. Here's one of the things that I do, because I know my own personal feelings on something can perhaps get in the way of me getting accurate answers from my pendulum, because maybe my emotions are involved, or if I have a lot of feelings about something, I might not trust what I'm getting from my pendulum. So I will often use little pieces of paper, and I will write questions, 3 to 4. I've done it up to like 6 questions before, different questions. And then I take the paper that I have the questions on, and I fold it up. And sometimes I've even used envelopes, where I'll put my questions in different envelopes that I don't know the answer. So I fold it up, and I've got several of these. So I'll take my question, and I will hold my pendulum over the paper and ask for my yes or no. So I'll ask for the yes or no. You may notice when you're using your pendulum that your arm slightly moves, because like I said, there's going to be micro movements in your body that resonate with the truth, or that isn't resonating because something isn't true. Your body moves in different ways. So people will say, well, that can't be true or accurate because that person's arm's moving. They're making it happen. Well, that's not necessarily true. It can be the micro movements that someone has because they're resonating with which the answer should be, whether it's a yes or a no. I'm not seeing any questions come up that you guys want me to ask on behalf of you for a pendulum. So I am not going to ask a question then about that, but for you, if you're not going to ask. But I'm going to ask a question for me. So I'm going to be on Coast to Coast AM radio with George Norrie. Big deal to me. I love George Norrie. I've listened to his radio show lots of different times over the years, many years, over 20 years he's been on radio, and he took over for Art Bell, who was the original host of Coast to Coast AM radio. It's on in the middle of the night, and I want to know, am I going to do well? Am I going to come across intelligent and well-spoken on Coast to Coast AM radio? And if you guys are using a pendulum right now, you could ask your pendulum as well. I don't really have an overwhelming concern or worry, so I can see that I'm getting a yes. I'm going to relax. I'm going to enjoy that kind of thing. So let me see if I can find a question. Okay, someone asked in the chat room if they're going to move by June of 2018. And I like that she put, is she going to move by June of 2018? Now, I don't know if I'm going to get a yes or a no, but the thing about even with moves, or we do have some say, free will, and choice in it. And no, too, if I get a no, it could be that she moves just after. Maybe she moves in July. So then it would be for her to seek out. So I'm asking on behalf, is this person going to be moving by June of 2018? And sometimes I'll say, just tell me the truth. I'm getting a yes. And I'm also hearing that actions have to be taken to make it happen. So if you take the proper actions, you'll definitely have your move. You can't just wait for luck to be on your side, kind of thing. That kind of stuff. So that's fun. Someone else in the chat room asks if their new career is going to work out. You know what I heard? You know, this happens to me at times. But trust your gut. If you hear something, even before you do it, you trust. You trust what you're getting or hearing. And I do hear that it's going to work out for this person that asked about their career, but I feel like it still needs a lot of work. Like it needs some nurturing and dedication still. And so it's not like it's just going to then next week all of a sudden be where you want it to be. It still needs cultivating, but it's going in the right direction. So I'm just going to also ask the pendulum. And I like that this person kept their question kind of wide open. She started with a larger question. Okay, yeah, there we go. I'm getting a yes on that. She started with the larger question, so this is great. So she asked if her new career is going to work out. And I get a yes, and I was hearing like it's still going to take a lot of work or a lot of nurturing to make that happen, but like the idea of not giving up, because I do feel like there's going to be shifts that go with it and even some kind of a location change. But with that, and she can narrow it down and ask more questions. Like, should I focus more on this, or should I focus more on that? Or like, you can tweak down your questions, but the best way to get around any feelings or emotions you have is to write several questions out, put them on a little piece of paper, fold your paper up, and then hold your pendulum over it. And I want you guys, for homework, to ask yourself a question every day with your pendulum, because sometimes it takes a while to really bond with your pendulum. It might not happen just in the moment or the first time you use it or try. And so you want to ask it also some little things that you know are going to come up right away or going to happen. Like if you have a dentist appointment, you can ask, am I going to have a cavity at this next appointment? Like that. And then get your yes or no, and then you'll see what happens at the appointment, because it's coming up soon. And you might not be feeling there's any cavities, and you're like, I'm probably pretty sure it's no, but you get a yes and you go there and you see. But if you get the no, it means that you just need to spend some more time with your pendulum and to keep working on it. I want you to ask for your homework a question of your pendulum every day, and try to have some of your questions geared to things that you can get the results to or the answers for. And if you're feeling brave, I want you to do this for a friend. Even if you know the friend well, just take the opportunity to use your pendulum for some other people and ask them if there's some things that they would want to know about, a yes or no, that's coming up fairly soon. Here's what I'm going to caution you against. Don't ask questions that are highly emotional to yourself or to a friend or someone else if you're going to do this. Don't start off by asking things like, am I getting divorced? Am I going to die of cancer? Let's keep things lighthearted, keep things fun. Want you to think about keeping everything in a place of fun and lightheartedness as it relates to using your pendulum. So if you have any questions about using your pendulum for your own purposes, or how to use a pendulum, then please ask, and I'll answer that there. And I'm going to talk about clairvoyance, and then I want to have some fun with everyone, and I may answer a few yes or no questions, and then I'll pull some cards for people. Since this is our last class, I'm going to have a little extra fun, and I'll try to get that edited out for when I put it onto YouTube. Okay. So clairvoyance is clear seeing. So we talked about clairsentience and claircognizance in the first class, and clairsentience is our feeling, even a sense of being empathic. And claircognizance is knowing, clear knowing. Don't know how you know, don't know where the knowledge came from. It could be inspiration. It could be you help a friend through a crisis and you're like, I have no idea why I said those things, but it certainly helped my friend get through what they went through. Then we discussed clairaudience, where it's clear hearing. And we can hear things coming in at us. We can hear other people speak about things, and we need to react to what they're talking about. And usually that means we need to react in a proactive way, like buying a book that we keep hearing about, or taking a class that we've also been hearing about, or we've been having a concern or a worry and we can let it go. And so that's our clairaudience, is clear hearing. Clairvoyance is clear seeing. A lot of people struggle with the idea of clairvoyance. They don't think that they can visualize or see things. And there's a misconception that when you're seeing things or you're having clairvoyance, that if you close your eyes or say like you're meditating or quieting your mind, that you're supposed to see pictures behind your eyelids, or you're supposed to be able to see things around you as if your eyes were open. And that's not necessarily the case. Now, a lot of people think they can't visualize, but learning, and this is part of your homework, is to be able to step into visualization. So I'm going to challenge anybody that's wanting to move or have a move to be able to visualize the move, the area that they would want to live in. If you want to visualize you having a relationship problem or issue, visualize that problem being solved. See a solution, see how it can be solved, even if you're not making yourself be that has to be the way that it happens, or that has to be the area that I move to. You're opening possibilities energetically for you to have it. So one of the activities that I have my students do is that I have them close their eyes and visualize. So I want everybody, wherever you're at, close your eyes and visualize for me a blue bird, the color blue, and a bird. And so if you have that, you know immediately you are someone that can visualize. Now, I want you to take that same visualization and I want you to visualize your car. I want you to, wherever you're at, with your eyes closed, to visualize your car. The color of it, what does it look on the outside, what does it look on the inside. I want you to visualize what your car looks like. If you don't have a car, I want you to visualize what the inside of your bathroom looks like. What does the bathroom look like? What are the colors on the wall? Where is the sink in relationship to the toilet? If you can do those things, then you are very visual. If you're struggling to do those things, what I want you to do is send me an email and I'll have other activities for you or things that you can try to help move you past feeling that I'm not visualizing. It's not that you have to see it in such a way that it looks like a snapshot or a movie, but over time it should strengthen that way. It has to come in that way, or it'll come in that way for you. Alrighty. So that's clairvoyance, and the homework with clairvoyance is for you to begin to visualize all of the visualize things that you're wanting in your life or for your life. You have to be able to see it in order to get it in some way. Now, seeing I describe seeing. It doesn't have to be exactly like a picture or a snapshot, but you have to be able to invoke the feelings and the scene in your mind's eye of what that could be like or look like. So if there's any questions now about clairvoyance, please let me know. And my beautiful baby Callie, she's right down here on the floor next to me, and she's having a doggy dream. So if you hear a little whimpering, she's right here sleeping. Oh, she looks so adorable, and she's just having her little doggy dream. Okay, I'm going to try to see if I get questions about how to visualize. Okay. The only way I can describe what happens to me is that I will meet someone. Okay, someone's talking about meeting someone or talk to someone, and I see a fast slideshow of their life. That's, even if you don't know the person, that can happen. Everybody has intuitive abilities, and so I certainly feel like that's yours kicking in. You don't need to be able to turn it off or turn it on. You just need to let it be. And if you want to learn to control it more, you'd want to participate in these activities that we are doing today to visualize things for yourself and on your own. That's a great place to start. And of course, I don't want to discourage you from taking a class or learning something down the road. I feel more than visual. That's true. You know what? Gabriella brought up an excellent point. not everybody visualizes to the same degree or an extent that they might feel or have the clairsentience, the empathic or clairsentience strengths. We all come to the table with our intuition and different strengths. And let me tell you this, there is not one strength that's more important or better than another. Because someone's more clairvoyant than they are, say, clairaudient, doesn't mean that that makes them a better intuitive or, let's say, even a better medium. It absolutely does not. One of the best mediums in the world is Tony Stockwell, and he is incredibly claircognizant. He uses the language of someone that's claircognizant. He often says, when I've watched videos of him, he'll say things like, I just know, or I have this knowing of, and his language will say, I think, I know, I believe this to be true. And it's coming from that claircognizance point of view, and he's incredible. The amount of detail and information that he gets through claircognizant blows me away. So it's the idea that also feeling can lend a lot of strength to someone's intuitive abilities. Being clairvoyant doesn't mean that you're better or more able or more equipped than somebody that's strength in one of the other clairs is not. So I feel like another example of that would be people who have a lot of clairsentience and a lot of clairaudience can really fine tune and pull up really specific amounts of detail. Whereas if I'm seeing a lot of imagery in a reading and pictures and everything's kind of moving around like a movie in my mind, that it may be there may be some symbology in there. I may have to use symbolism to explain the information that's coming through me. But if I'm hearing it and I'm feeling it, I know what that is. And I know even if someone can't relate to the information I'm giving immediately, I know it's accurate and correct. So it's not less than. We put a lot of emphasis in our society, and even in classes, beginning classes that I took on being able to be clairvoyant, when in my personal opinion, I'm very glad that I am quite claircognizant and also clairaudient. So, I mean, no one's, it doesn't make someone more or less than because of their strengths. And over the years, I've built up my strengths because I've worked on them. And that's what we're doing here. And that's why there's activities that you can take home and do in your everyday life. So, that was fun. Anybody else have a question about the clairs or pendulum? Can you see something for someone, then for some reason it changes and it doesn't come true? Well, that's because the future is not written in stone. And if you're talking about someone seeing in towards the future, 100% that things can shift and change, especially if you're talking about people, because you're dealing with so many factors on both people's lives and then the choices that they're making in their lives. And there's usually the highest outcome or the most soul purposeful outcome, then there is necessarily what ends up happening. And it doesn't mean that what someone saw wasn't true or accurate, and the possibility of it being true and accurate. It just means that as human beings, we don't always all live up to our potentials of what our soul is really craving for to do. The ego gets in the way, the mind gets in the way, fear gets in the way, all of those kinds of things. And so that can really cause a hang-up, especially when there's stuff to do with relationships. That's the most trickiest thing. Oh, and Anne wrote in here, she often says that I feel or I see. So the language that you use, even when you're talking to your friends. So here's another fun thing to do. What I want you all to do, it's not necessarily homework, but if you're more aware of it, you're going to be more aware of where your strengths lie within the clairs. Watch your language. So you're just chatting with a good friend or a family member or someone, and they're telling you a story or they're telling you something that's been going on in your life, and you say something like, I can see that happening. Or, oh my gosh, I feel that too. I feel that way too. Someone's describing, like, say, the political climate in the world, and you can, like, and they're upset or worried about it. You can say, I feel that too. Or you might say, I see that, or I see that happening as well. Or, I don't know why, but I just know that this is going to happen this way. It's just got to. You'll notice your language too, and those are where your strengths lie. I always say build and use your strengths to the utmost. Take them and develop them and tweak them out and play around with them and challenge yourself so you expand upon them. And then with the things that are more of your weakness or maybe not your strength, play around. Don't put so much pressure on yourself to be accurate and correct or right. Let that come about slowly and just have fun doing the activities without the pressure or feeling like you're a failure. So I want to challenge you all a little bit with some clairvoyance just for fun. This is just for fun. Some of you, your clairvoyance is way up here, and some of you your strength might be clairsentience, like we were talking about. So let's just do a fun thing right now and see if you can see. But if you feel it more or something else, use that language in what you write here. So let me know what you see for inactivity that I'm going to be doing that will include other people. What do you see or pick up on around an activity? I know I'm being very vague, but I want to leave it kind of open for everyone to play around with what they feel they may see. Like that. Oh, I know. Someone writes here in the chat room that I have felt like a failure at times. I have too. That's normal. There isn't one person like in any field that hasn't felt like that, doing something like that. It's similar to that, Gabriella. It's similar to a retreat. Lawn bowling, I'm not sure what that is. I'm not sure if Susie's commenting on that. Making ornaments, I'm not planning on doing that, but if I end up doing, that would be interesting. A family picnic. I don't think anytime soon, but something could come up for that. I mean, we hadn't planned on anything with that because of, weather and it being winter. Okay, it would be requiring to speak in front of a room. Yep. But there's other things, so I'm open to other things. Okay, with another person besides me. Okay. Oh, Tai Chi. I've never done Tai Chi, but it sounds like a lot of fun. A room full of women. Could be. I bet there'd be sprinkles of men. I bet there'd be sprinkles of men. Oh, interesting. A picnic. I love those. Lots of food and family. See, I don't have very much family. So that would be interesting, but it certainly could be with like friends or some kind of a group. But I like that image. And who knows, this summer something major may come up. It's kind of like a class. Yep. And I love that everybody's feeling something positive about it. That's what I like seeing, like positivity that comes with it. I would love to do a benefit. So I love that you said that. It wasn't what I was thinking of, but I just was recently talking to someone about that, Cindy, about doing a benefit. And I really want to do this particular one, and it's for a police officer. So I'm hoping that something like that works out. So, and it would require a group. It would be like some teaching, anyway, excellent. I think all of you are picking up on aspects and seeing different parts of what it is that will be coming about. I bet it's this summer too. That's why people would be seeing picnics. This is a lot of fun. Yep, makes sense, Gabriella. Awesome. Okay. Alrighty, so I want to do something fun, and I'm just going to randomly, I'm going to shuffle my cards, and so hopefully you guys post to me what some of the discoveries that you had this past week with pulling a card a day for yourself. So start posting in there like a card that kept coming up, or a message maybe you kept getting, or something that kind of felt random or strange. And then we'll see what we've got. So Renee, then your challenge is to get you some cards and start playing with them. All right, Vicki, that's cool. Okay, I'm going to keep that in mind. No worries if you don't have them. I'm just asking for people that do. New partner came up for Debbie. Okay, Debbie. All right. What have I got for Debbie today? Oh, wow, Debbie. Angel therapy. You know, Archangel Raphael helps heal anything in our lives, and there's some healing that I bet comes in as that new partner comes into your life. I love that connection. And even here on the card, it says, give your cares and worries to the angels, because they're taking care of some of it as well. You do your part, they'll do their part. And I do believe going through the process here of dealing with that and looking at your thinking or patterns of behavior with either past relationships and coming forward will support you. Alrighty, let's see what someone else puts about any cards that they were pulling. And I'll just do one or two more. Okay, so anybody else? I'm not really seeing anybody saying they were pulling cards and what they were finding. Here's my smoothie that I'm going to do that video on soon. Oh, Ashley. Okay. Got chakra clearing. That's very cool. So let me see. Ashley. Interesting. I thought I was going to get... Wow. Clairsentience. You know what? Archangel Raguel is the peacemaker, are helping to make peace not only in their life and yours. So when you're working on your chakras, and I would also encourage you to go through and let anything be at peace that doesn't feel at peace. So, and clairsentience, you know, clear. Clair means clear. And that Clair also is the idea here of clairsentience, of clear feeling. So trust your gut and trust your feeling. And you can clear your own chakras. You don't need someone that does Reiki or something like that. Okay, and then Vicki, she says that she keeps getting, ask the angels. Well, let's ask them. Let's ask them, Vicki, and see what we get. Okay. And what do I got for her? Ooh, life review. Don't you love that? I love this. Jeremiel. Jeremiel's also great with any kind of changes that we need to make in our environment. And getting outdoors and clearing our energy that way as well. I love Jeremiel for that, and Jeremiel for clearing our physical body. So it may also be time when this video comes out to pay attention. All right, but life review also means to take inventory and change things that don't work. Or what I feel too, Vicki, is like stepping into your power that way. All righty. Okay. I'm going to just, I don't know, Penny, I don't think I've ever met you, but thank you for being here. And I'm just going to pull a random card for you before I sign off for today. Because it's strange, but I keep getting the name Penny coming up and stuff. Like I was even reading something random the other day and it used the person's name I was reading about was Penny. So there's got to be something to that. All right. Penny. What do we have? Oh, wow. Penny. That's a powerful one right there, sister. And it's Raguel again. Peace and harmony. Relationship harmony. And you know what? This can actually even be for ourselves. I really feel part of you in 2018 is taking risks with yourself. Relationship harmony doesn't just involve other people or conflict. Sometimes we have a conflict with ourselves. It might be something that a habit we have that we want to let go of, or a change that we need to make that we will benefit from to bring more harmony in our own personal body, our relationship with ourselves. It certainly can mean here with other people, but I feel that for you as well. So, and Penny, thank you for coming on in. I don't think that we've met. If we have, I apologize. All right, guys, thank you for coming and joining me. I do need suggestions for another series here on Facebook so we can come back together and I can answer your questions. So if you've got an idea of something that you would want me to speak about or talk about, to do here, I'm happy to. I'm happy to take a look at building classes and Facebook Live events so I can take your questions and really interact with you. I'd love to do this on a regular basis. I am available to do something next weekend, and as we get a little closer to Christmas, that might be a little harder. Anyway, I do really appreciate you guys taking your time out of your day to join me here. I want to give as much information to people about developing their intuition or how the spirit world works or any of those things. I want to give as much information away to everyone as possible. So I do need your help. And also, please, 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 if you haven't already, go check me out on YouTube and subscribe to my channel there, because the more people that I have that subscribe to my channel, then the more people can find me, the more people out there that can find me. So look forward to very soon, hopefully being posted by next Saturday. I'm just going to say it's going to be posted by next Saturday, all about healthy eating and what you can take into the new year. And even like say the supplements or things like that I put into my smoothie to help keep myself healthy and balanced, because it's not just the mind, it's also the body. Also coming soon is going to be the video on the tips and tricks for staying peaceful, balanced, less stress through the rest of the holiday season here. So thank you all for joining me. I hope that you have a wonderful and blessed Sunday. Know that I want to be here for you. Let me know what you want. Post a comment below. Send me a message on Facebook. Let me know what you want, and we'll get right on that. Anyway, so have a wonderful rest of the day, and blessings and love to all of you. Bye-bye for now.